Today on AskBloop, can one person make an animated short film? Welcome to AskBloop, more here from bloopanimations.com. It's Friday and it's time for your questions. I would love to work as a freelancer. Can you tell me how freelancing works in this field? So freelancing can work in many different ways. The more common way it works in the animation and visual effects industry is by being booked on a daily to weekly and sometimes even monthly basis. It will usually start like this. A studio will approach you, showing interest in having you work on a future project, then asking for your daily rate, meaning how much money you charge for a day's work. Then they can either accept your rate or try to negotiate it down. Once you agree on a daily rate, they can either book you immediately, but what would happen more often than not is that the studio will put you on what's called a hold. A hold means that the studio has first dibs on you for a certain amount of time. Then if another studio wants to book you, you'll have to check with the first studio to see if they want to either book you or release your hold. Now what can happen is that the second studio also isn't sure about booking. So they'll put you on a hold too. And that's what's called a second hold. From there it could go to a third hold, fourth hold, and so forth. And when a studio is ready to book, you'll have to check with your holds based on the order. I know it all sounds a little complicated and silly, but it usually doesn't get to that many holds, especially if you're just starting out. But many studios do sometimes just put a bunch of people on a long hold and never use it. Then again, some freelancers don't even do holds and only go by official bookings. So there's many ways to go about it. Once you're actually booked at a studio, you'll simply work for the amount of days agreed upon and get paid according to your daily rate. Some freelancers work from home, while most go to work in the studio. Freelancing can also be done on a project basis, meaning you decide on a single price for the whole project, regardless of how long it takes you to finish it. That's more common when working with small companies rather than production studios. An example of a project-based job could be a logo design, making an explainer videos for small startups, etc. There's also a thing called permalancing, in which you work for a company as a permanent freelancer, sometimes for years, but you're still officially a freelancer. The advantage of that is that you have much more control of your schedule, and you tend to make more money than you would as staff. But you also don't get any benefits like insurance, 401k, paid vacations, etc. Is it possible for an individual to make an animated short film? Yes, it's definitely possible for an individual to make a short film, especially when we're talking about animated shorts, since live action always requires at least a few people to make. With animation, you can technically do everything yourself on a computer. Now, as someone who has produced 2 animated shorts almost single-handedly, I can tell you that you always need at least some help from others. For my student film, I still needed help with modeling. And for Lift Up, even though I stuck to the simplest models, I still wanted to push it further and had help with background design and of course the amazing music that was composed for it by Galo, who is also doing all the music for Tasteful, which is insanely good, by the way. So yes, you can do a short all by yourself, and the more skills you have, the easier it will be for you. But as you progress with your work, you'll probably want to have more people involved in a project. Filmmaking is a collaborative thing, no matter if it's live action or animation. Tasteful is the first time I've been producing something that was done with such a large team, and it really is a collaborative project. And it's turning out so much better than anything I could have done by myself. How can I keep the workflow of an animation team without any major delays? Delays are bound to happen with every production, but a way to minimize the major setbacks and delays is having a good producer. Of course, hiring good people is always key to a good production, but a good producer holds the entire project together and can be the difference between a fun endeavor or a stressful mess. Luckily for us, Muriel, our producer, is doing an amazing job keeping over 15 people from around the world on course. And I can say with complete confidence that this project would have collapsed without her. Good producer. Make sure you have one. Alright, that's all the questions for today. If you have one, post it in the comment section below or email me directly. If you want to stay updated on animation news, new tutorials, or see if your question was answered, click the subscribe button right here. See you next time.